You are listening to the Money Machine Podcast with Nicole McBee. Real financial conversations and advice on how to get your money right.
Welcome to the Money Machine Podcast, where we're having real conversations and giving advice on how to get your money right. I am your host, Nicole McBee. Today, joining me is the beautiful and talented Miss Shamika Coleman. We're going to just jump right into it, and we're going to just talk about building a financial foundation. So Miss Coleman is here, and we're going to learn a little bit about network marketing. We're going to learn about credit. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Shamika, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, I'm Shamika Coleman. I've been doing credit restoration and financial literacy for less than a year.
Oh, wow.
And I learned first through network marketing.
Oh, okay.
Yes, network marketing. And I come to find out that network marketing is the only business that can make regular people like you and I millionaires.
Girl, who told you I wasn't already a millionaire?
You might be, girl.
We'll talk about that later. Okay. What's the name of your business, Miss Coleman?
My business is Confident Services.
Okay.
And I'm followed by Financial Education Services.
Okay, so tell me about Confidence Services.
Confident Services is my own business.
Okay.
That's my business with everything combined that I do.
Okay.
Like I do hair, I do the credit restoration and financial literacy, and I also do fitness and nutrition.
Oh, check this out. This health and wealth. We can get our
Yes,
hair
indeed.
done. We can get our credit
We get it all
repaired.
in.
We can work out. I'm talking about you, the total package,
That's
Miss
right.
Coleman.
I'll get you right.
So tell me, when you say followed by financial services?
Yes, financial education
Okay.
services is the network marketing part that I do.
Okay.
For the credit restoration.
Okay. So tell me about that. So how does that work?
It is a program that pretty much tells people, it educates people on getting their whole financial situation in order. From your credit restoration to a will and trust, getting your assets in order for your family when you leave here, and everything, anything that you could think of that's with your finances.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Okay. So if I came to you and I says, hey, Miss Shamika, my credit is a 304, like
I'll
the
say,
school.
Girl, I'm gonna help you out.
Okay. So how would you help me? How do you help me repair my credit?
What we do is we leverage the creditors.
Okay.
And we dispute any negative items that are on your credit report.
Okay.
We dispute it and have it removed. If anything is negative, anything late, in arrears, from child support to bankruptcies, anything that's making
What about student loans? Because
student loans, yes, ma'am.
I'm getting ready to get my PhD, and so I'm just trying to
Yes.
find out. I just keep going to school. I have 2 masters.
Okay.
And then I'm getting ready for my PhD. I just don't want to pay my student loans, so I just keep staying. But nonetheless, so student loans
we can work them out too.
my student loans are current.
Yes.
But nonetheless,
Anything that's making a negative impact on your credit score,
okay.
we dispute it and have it removed from your.
What about tax liens?
Liens? Yes.
Okay, so I know in the state of Missouri, a lot of the tax liens are not actually hitting the CB, but you can still have liens. Are you guys, if they're hitting it, and if you're in the St. Louis metro area or on the Illinois side, are you able to help them with that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. As long as it's on your credit report and it's negative, anything that's making a negative impact, it can be removed. Yes.
Okay.
There's so many laws.
Yes.
That
Yes.
state that these aren't even supposed to be put on your credit report.
So when you talk about credit laws, the Fair Credit Standard, so I know that there's been breaches with Equifax. There's been issues over with TransUnion. I think just last year, TransUnion was removing inquiries because they had a little bit of a breach. Is that something that you can leverage now if a person called you and said, hey, Miss Shamika, I wanted to come and get my credit cleaned up?
Oh, yes.
And tell me how?
Just like I said, we dispute everything. Anything that's negative, we dispute it and get it off.
Okay.
Get it off, yes.
Okay. So generally, how long does this process take? Is this
It really depends on a person to person.
Okay.
Depending on the creditors, how fast they respond to the credit bureaus and how fast the credit bureau responds to us. So it could be from 3 months to 8 months.
Okay.
It could even be a little more, a little less. You know, it just depends on the person's situation.
Okay, I understand. So tell me, generally, if when someone talks about credit restoration and they decide to use a service such as yours, is it Confident Services?
Confident services.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna just throw the financial in there
You can
because
throw that in there.
okay, I just made up a whole new name for your business. My bad. No, so tell me this: how do they reach you? And then what does that cost look like to them?
When people want to get their credit repair, they usually call me. I have a 1-800 number to call, and I also have a local number they can call. And the price starts with the $188 startup fee,
Okay.
and it's a monthly process. So we charge $89 a month.
Okay.
So each time that we send out your dispute letters, you will be charged $89.
Okay. So then after this credit is cleaned up, you want to go ahead and shout out your 800 number before I move on past that?
It's 1-800-474-8043.
Okay. And is there a website or email address you want to include?
I can give another number. It's 618-719-7343.
You want to repeat that? Just make sure we don't.
618-719-7343.
That's how y'all get in contact with Miss Shamika if you're trying to get your
And
credit
both
together.
of those will get you directly to me.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So generally, you told us how much time it takes to do these repairs. You've given us the price. You've given us contact information on credit restoration. My biggest thing is that after the restoration, then what?
Well, we also, with my program, we provide you with a credit builder. And it teaches people how to build up their credit, how to add positive trade lines on their credit report. Most people have a whole lot of bad credit, no good credit. So when all the bad credit is removed, you still have a low score. So we teach you how to add a positive trade line onto your...
On a positive, that don't know what a positive trade line is.
That would be like a secured credit card.
Okay.
Things like that.
What's the
Credit
difference
card.
between secured and unsecured credit cards?
A secured credit card is ones that you pay into and use it.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one would be an unsecured card would be one that they just give you credit for.
Okay.
Yes.
And so Confident Services will help us.
Yes. We will help provide you with secure credit card.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So this is the portion that my wonderful producer, and I also like to call him my brand manager, he like guides me, and he wants me to go ahead and drop a new segment. So if you're new to listening on the Money Machine podcast with your host Nicole McBee, this is when we talk about financial failures, and I ask all guests, what two things do you see as the biggest financial failures amongst consumers?
Sometimes people get credit cards and they will max them out. We tell people you don't want to max out your cards. If you have a card, you want to use only 30% of your credit card. Pay it off the next month. Then you are building positive credit and you're having a good credit history.
Okay.
Payment history. Not saying that you need to use this card and it's gonna use it all the way to the max, because that's showing that you a number one thing. And another thing is making sure that we pay on time. People procrastinate. I procrastinate sometimes, but not on my credit. But people do not pay on time.
Okay.
That is another big no-no. If you don't pay on time, that takes off huge points off of your credit score. So those are two things that I...
So two financial failures that you see is credit utilization, and then second, payment history.
Yes.
When you look at the mix of credit, would you say those are pretty big rocks?
Yes.
What about inquiries? I think financial failures on my behalf, or those that are trying to develop credit, is the inquiries that they receive, because you're trying to go here, there, and everywhere to build this credit. Does that have a major impact on your credit?
Inquiries don't have a huge impact on your credit score, but it does show that people that you are desperate and you're wanting to hurry up and get some credit from somewhere, from somebody. So we don't want to just go out there and keep on inquiring here, inquiring there. You don't really want that, but it's not making a giant impact on your score.
Okay. So, and I do understand that for the first 12 months, it does impact your score. But after 24 months, after that, 13 to 24 months, there's little to no impact. Those inquiries, when do they disappear?
Inquiries usually stay on your credit support for 7 years.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. So we want to definitely avoid getting those credit inquiries.
Yes, you don't want to get a whole lot looking desperate.
Okay.
You just want to, I mean, I know we need credit at times, at some point, so just try not to go out and here and there and here and there. And then the person that really wants to give you the credit can see that you're desperate and really need this money.
Okay.
This credit.
So we're talking to Miss Shamika Coleman over at Confidence Services. We getting a credit, and you can get some hair done and exercise and all kinds. This, oh my goodness! Like I need to get my hair done. I guess I won't use my credit card to make the payment though. But be like, I won't be swiping it, because then you'd be like, well, what's your utilization? You trying to get this personal training cracking, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, can I use my credit card to make that payment for the personal training? No, just joking. So Miss Shamika, tell me about network marketing, because most people, I know that you got into credit restoration through the means of network marketing, and most individuals say, oh my God. So I'm sorry, listeners, 2 for 1, credit and network marketing. Bam. Right. You can't get better than this. So most people think of network marketing, and the very first thing they think is pyramid scheme, scam. They just trying to get my money. It's not going to work for me. So tell me about network marketing.
I have done network marketing for many, many years. I've done probably, you name it.
You did the Tupperware.
Avon. Tupperware, Try Mary Kay. I have found nothing that compares to the credit in network marketing.
Okay.
Credit restoration program in network marketing. And I found that I was interested in credit restoration when I started this network marketing program.
Mm-hmm.
And the money is so good. When I tell you that you can become a millionaire with this, you can.
My goodness.
Yes.
I'm going to have to ask my producer, what's the name of that song? Like, if you have a baby by me, then you can be a millionaire. I'm not sure who sings that song, but nonetheless. But I mean, it's almost like you get into network marketing, you can be a millionaire.
So I am one of people on my team.
Okay.
I'm still trying to add people into my network marketing team.
Okay.
So yes, you can call me also if you would like to join my team.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you say join your team, what does that mean?
That means get on board with this network marketing.
Okay. So that means I got to pay you some money.
Yes, to start up. It's a $288 startup fee, and it's starting your whole business. It's starting. I created a whole financial business with this program.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So $288 ain't a bad start for a business.
So this is like a franchise, and how much I got to pay you every month? Because I'm a little skeptical. I'm old school. I'm a little Warren Buffett-ish.
Right.
I'm a stocks and bonds type of girl. I can actually calculate bonds by my hand with a pencil and piece of paper and 2 erasers, just in case. So tell me about, because I'm skeptical. I've heard some bad things about network marketing.
Okay. You are not going to hear anything bad about financial education services.
Okay.
Okay. Financial Education Services has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
Okay.
We have 100% customer satisfaction.
Okay.
It is $288 to start, and it's $89 a month. The $89 is for your credit restoration.
Oh, okay. So hold on. Wait a minute. So I can start a business for $288, and then I pay $89 or $89
a month for.
And then I'm going to get my own credit cleaned up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But here's the best part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get 5 more people on your team,
Mm-hmm.
you don't pay $89 anymore. So it's like getting your credit done for free.
Okay. So how long is it going to take me to get my credit cleaned up?
Well, that depends on what you got on there.
3 to 8 months. So
Yes.
after my credit is 780, then what? Do I still pay $89 to?
No, because you got your 5 people by then.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you just stay on board and make money.
Oh, okay. And so tell me, how do you make the money? For those that are network marketing illiterate, how do we make money?
By exposing people to what you do.
Okay.
Like me doing this, I'm letting people know that I'm a credit repair agent, and getting them in.
Okay.
Once I get people in, you get paid to get people in.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you bring in customers
And other agents.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's a twofold.
Yes, ma'am.
You double working. I don't know about that.
But
I like to make money while I'm asleep. That's
you
that.
will because you get residuals.
Oh, okay. See, that's that. Now you talking my language. Like if
You
I can go,
make
if I
money
could take.
from the beach.
Oh, okay. So if
In
I could
your
take a
sleep.
nap and make money, then you
That's
might be
right.
talking my language.
That's
Because I've worked hard since I was 16. So therefore, those days are over. I'm retiring myself at 40. So there you go.
I'm in that same boat, honey.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So tell me a little bit more about this network marketing for those that just don't know, because I will tell you that I've talked to people who have done TLC, who've done Plexus, Tupperware, Mary Kay, and we see this top tier group of individuals that are doing really well. But then we always find out that there's some people that have said, oh, well, I've spent $1,000. You're trying to be, diamond and Beatles and pledges and all kinds of stuff with all the titles that they give you to get get to the top of the network. And then they said, well, I didn't make any money.
Well, the number one thing that I love about financial education services is as you get people in, you get paid your commission.
Okay.
So if I got 10 people in, I'm going to have a check in the mail or a direct deposit the next week.
Excellent.
So the money, it comes. It's no waiting time. There's no saying, well, you got to get 10 people first. No, the first person you get in, you get a check.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So there ain't going to be saying, you're not going to be saying, I didn't get no money. I didn't make no money. You're going to make the money.
Okay.
And also, we know so many people who need credit restoration.
It's definitely a huge business. I think that credit has not been explained in the market for many people. And then also, I know there's lots of baby boomers, women who were not eligible. I think Hillary Clinton was just saying how when she was a pretty profitable attorney and pretty prosperous in her career and was growing and developing in her career, she could not get a credit card without her husband, who was a struggling governor of Arkansas. And when she made that statement, and she was like, I was, pretty successful as an attorney, and I just could not get a credit card without my husband. I had to reiterate that, because it's like when you say that and you're thinking like this happened, in our time.
Right.
And so a lot of women, I think men are better with finances,
Don't
but
say that.
is the myth. I'll say
it is a myth.
that's the myth. But also they've had a head start. Some men have had a head start, especially baby boomers. They've had a head start on it. They were taught financial literacy. Again, Hillary Clinton, our former Secretary of State, our former First Lady, says, hey, you know what? When I was 27, 28 years old as a successful attorney, I could not get a credit card. I could not get a mortgage. So I feel like often women are behind the curve when it comes to credit and finances. And men kind of have that little leg up on us. So what you're doing as it relates to credit and credit restoration and also financial literacy, plus the hair in the personal trainer, I had to toss that in there. Everybody want to get their hair done. Look, I had to put that R in there, like, because I am from St. Louis. Because I'm from St. Louis. No, so everybody wants to get their hair done. And definitely we always want to work out. But nonetheless, when we think about this history of credit and the number of years that women and also minorities have been pushed aside and they have poor credit. And of course, we always know the lack of money means you're going to spend more money. You're spending more money on interest rates. Right. We're spending more money to gain access to get credit. So we're getting the highest interest rates on the credit cards. We're getting the highest interest rates on auto loans. We're not getting those good bank rates. So we're spending this money.
Mm-hmm. And people have come so comfortable with paying the extra money that they think that's natural.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it just becomes a thing. I always joke because my son and I, we visit Plaza Motors. Sidebar conversation. We visit Plaza, and he says this is how rich people stay rich. Because every time you come to get your car serviced, or I get my car serviced, I'm given free soda. He was like, "No, I went to Firestone, and that's all they had was a vending machine, and I had to pay to get the soda. Here, I'm getting free soda. I'm getting free snacks, a free key ring, all just get an oil change." That was just a sidebar, and just one of those moments when you think about when you have poor credit and you're No shade, Firestone. I love y'all. But the moment when you're like, hey, what's the difference between Plaza Motors and what's the difference between Firestone and getting service? And again, that drives you right back to that credit. Everything that I feel like is the foundation of your financial future in building a solid financial foundation is your credits. So tell me this, is there an ideal credit score?
750.
Okay.
That's a great credit score.
Okay.
Everybody wants to strive for the 850, but 750 is very, very good.
So what's the percentage of Americans with the 850 credit? Small, relatively small.
Yeah.
So I have an app. Capital One has an app called Credit Wise, and it always gives you that percentage of where people fall in. So individuals with credit scores of 850 or higher, it's like 7%. Between that 680 and that 750, you're like 58% of Americans. So the assumption that everybody has bad credit is really not the truth. I always tell people that, or the number of people that default on credit.
I think people have average credit. Most people just have average.
Do you think it's average because of education?
Lack of financial education.
Okay.
Because nobody's taught about that credit in school.
Okay.
Nobody's taught about it. You're not taught about credit. You're not taught about how to keep your credit up or what it takes. Nobody is.
Okay.
You know. So we have to learn that from our parents or from out here.
In the world. I got you. I definitely got you. So this is the part of the podcast where I ask you for some smart money moves. We're going to channel our inner Cardi B and get us some money moves. Because we don't dance anymore. We're making money moves. So smart money moves.
I think number one thing is to stay in your financial realm. Stay, don't live above your means.
Okay.
You know, and if you can't afford a car that you really want, if you can't afford that BMW or that Audi that you want, then stay in your means. You know, that's number one thing. Because that trying to live above your means puts so many people in debt or making them not make good decisions on credit even.
Yeah. The person that I love the most, of course, is Warren Buffett, and you'll hear me say this often, but he literally lives in the same house that he's lived in. And when you're talking about stay within, I always believe in below. So if I can afford a $100,000 car, I want to get a 50.
Yeah.
If I can afford a mortgage of, $2,000 a month, I want to get one at $1,500. So that is a great smart money move. You got any more?
That's
the number one
thing to me.
Stay within. I got you.
Within your means.
Miss Shamika Coleman, stay within your means. That's her smart money move. She's still doing hair and personal training, but I'm not dancing anymore. It would be a disaster if I danced anyway. So thank you so much. Thank you
so much for having me.
So Shamika, before I let you go, of course, we'll put all your information in the link with our podcast. This is the Money Machine Podcast, having real financial conversations, and we're giving great advice on how to get your money right. I'm your host, Nicole McBee, and I'm my guest, Miss Shamika Coleman. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. You want to shout out your email or phone number last time?
You can reach me at 1-800-474-8043 or 618-719-7343. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are listening to the Money Machine Podcast with Nicole McBee.